Hey everyone, we had some things come up this last month and I wanted to go over how to go about getting a mutual release done. What is a mutual release? A mutual release is a document that typically the buyer and seller side would sign, including the brokers, that would release all parties of liability from future potential prosecution, litigation, I'm sorry. And it would typically finalize any outstanding issues regarding a deposit if there was one. So with that being said, I will jump into the Realcomp, and we will go over that. I gotta remember where it is. I think it's in here. There we go. Realcomp, boom. All right, so I'm logging in. And then we go to RCO3, full site. I've read this. I'm sure everybody has read that. And then we go to, you could go to TransactionDesk, I guess, directly. But since I'm not really doing a mutual release, I'm just going to go straight to external links. And then TransactionDesk and forms. So I'm just going to pick one kind of randomly. Once this is done loading, okay. So if you went directly to a transaction to start a transaction through TransactionDesk, you could go there and add the document mutual release, usually the GMAR version, or you can just fill it out from a blank starting point, which is what we're going to do just because I'm not actually trying to release from anything. So what we can do is go over here, go to forms. Oh, I'm not connected, no wonder. And then we can go to GMAR and you can type in release. Mutual release GMAR. Click that. Now, you could do a standalone, which is what we're going to do, or you can start a new transaction if you're creating one. These are the functionalities of picking any form, but because we're not actually doing a real one, we're going to make a fake one. It's going to be this. All right, so we're going to zoom in with this function here. The undersigned buyer, sellers, and brokers individually and collectively parties to a certain purchase agreement dated this. So you would just select the calendar date for whatever the purchase agreement is that this is referencing. So you'd go click here. Let's say it was done on the 1st. So January 1st, you went under contract. Maybe you just got through with the inspection and you're ready to release. This is one way to do it. So for the sale of property described as, put in whatever property that is. If you did it directly through a transaction you already had opened, you can actually have that auto-populate. Let's presume it's a standard $2,000 EMD, a little 1%, so it's a $200,000 buy probably. And let's say in this situation, I was the listing broker and also listing agent, I guess, in this case. Whoever is the actual broker on your side is who has to sign either this part or that part, okay? Each buyer and seller will need to sign it as well. It's not really an agent-to-agent situation. Brokers do have to get involved at this point. So let's say the buyer was Ann and the seller was Bob, and I was a listing broker, Matt with what would be Woodward Square, I guess. Woodward. I'll just do WSR. I'm not actually going to use WSR like that because you'd have to put in the actual name. Let's say the other one was like KW. I'm just doing shorts for this, obviously. In this case, let's say our agent was Abby, and Abby was representing Bob for WSR, and decided to get out of contract within the inspection period, no issues whatsoever. In that case, we would probably give Ann the 2,000 back, and everybody else gets the 0, 0, 0. Everything has to be filled out here, by the way. The full accountability of that 2,000 has to be understood. Let's say Ann backed out after the fact, and Bob was pretty mad, and he wanted his money. Bob might fight for this. As long as Ann agreed, the 0 would be fine. And then all parties privy to the deal would sign down here. So the buyer and or buyers would sign there. The sellers would sign here. The listing broker is going to sign here, well, right above it, and the selling broker is going to sign there. As long as the brokers and actual clients have signed, this is all set. It'll typically be a buyer-seller issue more than a broker-to-broker issue. No brokers want issues. Another way this might happen is if Ann got out of contract after the fact, but they couldn't agree. Maybe they split it. This is another way to do it. Maybe they go, okay, you take 1,000, I take 1,000. It says, shame on you for getting out of contract after the fact, but I'm not trying to take all your money. So, I would always say, keep it clean. Let the party have their money whenever possible. But if somebody's just being outright rude or not following protocol, you can press the issue. But again, as you press the issue, more issues can come about. So I hope this helped. Once these are all signed and sent, sent and or signed, you're pretty much done. Again, you can go back up here to the pen apparatus. You can do confirm, create a signing session. For time saving, I'm going to wrap this thing up verbally. I always do simul-sign, just get it done. You pick your participants here. The design step is pretty self-explanatory. You're only using one document. You might pull in the original purchase agreement. You can actually do that through here. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Hope that helped. Thanks for listening.